Hi guys, it's Chris. I'm back in my shed with some more cider to try and a bit of cheese today as well. Yum yum. What's the cider? What's the cider, Chris? I'll tell you what the cider is. You won't be able to tell because it's in one of my Cork and Crown bottles, but it is in fact this cider here. So this is Tamoshanta from Pilton, some more stuff from Pilton. This one has had less interventions than some of the others have had recently. So it normally comes in this format. That's the normal format. So it's a keeved cider, bottle conditioned. So keeving, talked about it lots before, it's a fining process, takes out nutrients. So there's not enough nutrients for the yeast to finish the fermentation. So what you get is lower alcohol and residual sugar, natural apple sugars. Okay, that's what it is. So this is the normal format. Martin ran out of space for all the bottles that he had. Because of lockdown, he wasn't selling as much as he was, so he had to start doing other things with the cider for storage. So he puts them in boxes, in 20-litre bagging boxes. And I got one off him. I'm probably going to get another one as well. So we're not going to open this one today. We will at some point. We're actually going to open this one today out of this bottle, which I actually chilled down in the fridge because it's a little warm at the moment. So I want it to be like a slightly colder drinking temperature. And what's the cheese? Well, the cheese is. It says on the bottle, have with Somerset cheddar, which is a grand thing to suggest, but it's very much a French-style cider, if you like, except it's been aged, matured, fermented in whiskey barrels for the last portion of its life, hence the Tamoshanta, the whiskey. But this is the cheese we're going to have with it. So that is Nectaire from the Auvergne. We might have had this before. I have a feeling we probably have, because I love this cheese very much indeed. I'm pretty sure we have, but there was a nice piece sitting around there at Mon's Cheesemongers at the market, so I had to have some, so I did. So you got natural rind, sort of mucor, giving that sort of very rough, sort of almost like moleskin it feels like when you touch it, similar to the rind you get on the Go With Cathiri that we've had before. So it's kind of like got a nice earthy, musty character, which I really like. Cave-like qualities, the aromatics on the rind. Inside it's semi-soft, so a little bit squidgy. Yeah, love this stuff. Possibly one of my desert island cheeses when it's good. Even when it's not good, it's still pretty good. But when it's at its best, for me, it's awesome. It's quite subtle, but I like subtlety. I think there's a lot to be said for subtlety. If you want to get some, go to Mon's Cheesemongers, .co.uk, online shop, buy a bit. That's what I recommend you do. Then get some Somerset cider, some of this stuff if you can, Tamoshanta. But any keeved cider or any good British cider will do the job, I reckon. Cider's very versatile, goes with lots of cheeses basically. This one's got residual sugar, so that should work with something with a bit of salt. Quite low acid cheese, so we hint of salt, the salt and the sugar should work very well together. Anyway, let's pour out some of this. So, yeah, Martin Berkeley in Pilton's where the orchards are. He's based in Shepton Mallet in a Victorian lager brewery. Beautiful building, fantastic building, and very cool, perfect for aging things like cider and lagering beers. Let's pour it out. So this is still, because it's come out of the box, unlike its bottled counterpart, which will have a nice mousse to it. We'll do that one maybe next. I'll do it in a few videos. I don't know. I've got a few things to try. We'll see how we go. Anyway, it's got that classic sort of keeved colour. So where's my thingamajig? There's my thingamajig. You can see it's quite pale, but it's got an amber to it. So the apples are left to sort of macerate for like 24 hours. So the tannins will oxidize. That will give it a bit of brownness, a bit of colour. So you often have a lot of colour in these sorts of ciders. This is quite a light one, but still you get that sort of amber thing going on. Let's have a sniff. So yeah, sweet, rich apple, baked apple, tartatan character almost. Quite delicate, can be more bold than that sometimes in a keeved cider, but it's definitely there on this. And in the background, there is the merest hint of whiskey, just the merest hint, just the suggestion, just a threat of whiskey, and that's a good thing, because if you make a great cider or a great anything, if you then smother it in something else, what was the point? You know, it's like making an amazing meal and emptying the whole salt cellar on it. What was the point in that? You want it to complement and enhance, not smother. And this, on the nose, that's certainly the case. Let's have a taste. Cheers. Reasonable amount of sugar in this actually. Remember, it's residual sugar, it's apple sugar, it's natural sugar, it's not been sweetened, there's just sugar that has not been fermented by the yeast. This is only 4.9%, so low percentage, which is kind of cool. What is it on the Actually, what is it on the bottled one? 4.7%, so it's even slightly lower on the bottled version, so maybe you expected a little bit more sweetness even. But having said that, because this isn't carbonated, there's more contact with your palate, so it feels richer and sweeter than the carbonated one would feel, I suspect. We'll find out when we try it, but I suspect because it's not carbonated, it feels much richer, because there's more surface area, contact surface area, less bubbles in there, if you see what I mean. Nice tannin, not super tannic, but there's a nice tannin there. And in the background, there is the merest suggestion of whiskey. The merest suggestion. If you didn't know what it was, you might struggle. It almost feels like a dark toffee sort of element or something like that. Very far back in the palate, but it's definitely there. But sweet, definitely sweet. If you wanted a dry cider, this is on the sweeter end. I can take it. I love sugar. I can drink it all day long. Low acidity, which is kind of what you expect from Keef ciders as well. They don't tend not to be quite as acid. So actually, I think it's something that needs some sort of food with it, something with a bit of salt in. I mean, for me, I like it, but I think for a lot of people, you need something to balance that sweetness. So let's have it with a bit of cheese. Let's try the cheese first, shall we? So I'll get my first weapon of choice of the day. Bit of cheese. Let's carve a bit off. Rip. Rind as well. I love the rind on these cheeses. It's delicious. It's delicious. And it's a natural rind. It's designed to be eaten. Eat it. You paid for it. Sold my weight. Eat it. So, yeah. Very gentle lactic acidity. The salt there, absolutely. But it's totally integrated. You almost don't notice it's there because it's integrated into everything else. If it wasn't there, you'd miss it massively because this would be very, very bland. But it's beautifully integrated, really good. Buttery, you get like an earthy texture, earthy flavour, pardon me. Little resistance as your teeth go through the rind. It's almost got like a meaty, I almost want to say offally or beefy, beef stock, bouillon character in the background there, which is quite unusual for this one. Don't usually get it. You usually get quite a few awful flavours. But I feel this one's almost got like chicken stock or something like that going on. So I like a lot. Right, let's chop off another bit and have it with some cider. Yeah, like chicken stock. It's nice, actually. It's really nice. However, I think the bubbles would probably help with the fattiness of that. Just so you know, sort of cheddar would have more fat in than that. Okay? That feels fattier because it's soft, so it kind of coats your palate even more. But softer cheeses contain less fat generally because there's more liquid in them, more water. That's why they're soft. Harder cheeses are more concentrated, which is why they're hard. So more concentrated proteins, more concentrated fats in there, okay? So when a low-fat cheese, young, fresh, soft cheese is the way to go. Older, harder cheeses are the ones that are going to be more concentrated and more fatty. However, because of their natural texture, they will kind of like break up and won't coat your palate quite so much as something that's soft or something that's particularly runny or something that's even semi-soft like that. So I reckon, flavour-wise, that works great. But I think in terms of the texture, the fattiness on my palate, I'd like bubbles in that to scrub my palate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that bit of cheese, and we'll do the Tamoshanta in the bottle. We'll try it again, see if it makes a difference. Cool. Both great though. Both great. This is really interesting. I am going to get more of this. It's totally different. So I've never had a Keef cider out of a box. I've never had Tamoshanta out of a box. And it's very interesting to try something side by side. The same product that's just been treated quite differently, and to taste the difference. So I'm looking forward. Maybe I will do the Tamoshanta tomorrow, just because taste memory is quite vague, and if I wait too long I might forget. So yeah, maybe I'll just stick one in the fridge tonight and tomorrow we'll try it again. Cool. Nectaire, excellent. Tamoshanta in a box still, excellent. So how was my evening? Excellent. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed some or all of that, and until the next time, cheers.